Good afternoon, my friends. Thank you for trying our channel, seeing what we're all about. We appreciate it. Tell you what, end of March, Michigan, and still have my winter coat on. We still have a few flakes of snow here and there. Just saw one not too long ago, in fact, as I was walking up the steps. Okay, so I have my coffee. If you would like to, put me on pause, make yourself a cup, join me in a few minutes. I will wait. No worries. Our intent here is to talk about yard maintenance, see what we can pass on, things we've learned, bad habits we've gotten rid of perhaps. We're going to release probably about 4 videos all at once, see what works, what doesn't work, regroup. You may not like my presentation style, maybe you do, maybe you'd prefer to see my lovely wife in front of the camera. A little bit about us. We had a starter property, suburbia, not too far from here. Learned a few things, learned what not to do, developed a few good habits, at least we think they were good. Had an opportunity to expand that lot, so we did. Found a few more things we did not know. Honed a few skills, then moved here about 20 years ago and had to work on a whole new set of skills. It just never stops. That's part of the fun, isn't it? So what's going to make us a little bit different is we're going to start with a safety brief. That's a good cold wind. Near the start of each video, bring up things that some of us wouldn't necessarily think of, or maybe we've thought of them and forgot. Such as if we're out walking in the trees, we have to worry about what's above us, what's below us, environmental hazards, fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, flies, poison ivy, getting hit in the head with a stick. Should we wear leather gloves? Should we not wear gloves? Should we wear a hard hat? Should we have sturdy footwear versus sneakers? All valid questions. So, if you have your coffee ready, just take a short walk. Talk about some invasive species that we have that we will need to get rid of at some point. Still working on that. The autumn olive is mostly gone. We have a good crop of honeysuckle that we've been working on. It has just grown what seems like exponentially over the past few years, and now it's a struggle staying on top of it. We think we're in front of it far enough now, and we're going to move on. We've got a number of vines that still need attacked. We have buckthorn that we need to get after, both the glossy and the common. We can show you those. Identification of plants, perhaps. We'll just wing it and see what happens. How about that? All right, my friends, we are back. For instance, let's say I was going to go in there and pull out this honeysuckle we have, and there's a bunch more back there. That is invasive. Eventually, that needs to come out, or it's going to get much, much worse. What hazards would we have here? We have uneven ground. We've got a nice slope here. Can't quite get all of it in, but if I pan this way, you'll see we're higher than the remaining property. So we'll have to take that into account. Okay, we have no mosquitoes too early in the season, but we have potential for ticks. We have a lot of dead stuff. We have branches hanging. We have vines that do not happen to be poison ivy, but we can cover that on another video as to how to identify. Should we have sturdy footwear? Most definitely. Should we have clothes on that we don't necessarily care about? Yes. Should we have something covering our heads? Yeah, that would be a good idea too. Let's see what else we can get here. Proper gloves, of course. Let's see if I can find some buckthorn. Okay, I think this is buckthorn. I don't see the end thorn like I should. However, we do see several along the way. It's not fun running into these things. Oh, there's a nice one right there. And yes, I'm not following my own advice as far as gloves. I will tell you, if you get snagged on those will go through your leather gloves rather easily. They are not necessarily protective, but they're better than nothing. Autumn olive, similar idea. These get really thorny as well. See if we can find some here. Oh, of course, they're not where you want them to be. Oh, yeah. These will snap, but if you run into them head on or just grab it with your glove, it'll let you know it's there. So those are the kind of things that we want to cover. A couple of items are highly recommended. One is to attend an in-person first aid training. There are apps out there, such as the American Red Cross app, which will guide you through certain steps to take in an emergency. However, it's not recommended to have a gushing wound and not know what to do. It's best to be able to dress the wound, and then once everything is under control, step back, consult the app if that's your preference, or the ambulance, whatever the need be. So I have also a first aid kit. There are a number of them on the market. I have found, though, that when I go to the store, and it's a pre-made kit, there may be 50 different kinds of bandages, and they give you 10 of each, but they don't give you too much of anything else. So I prefer to make my own. What you put it in, of course, is your choice. You'd want something light, highly visible, somewhat waterproof as well. Notice I have it labeled on 3 sides. No matter how it's oriented in storage, I can find it. There are toolboxes used for normal tools instead of first aid kits, which are red, so you would not want to pick that. Something else is highly visible, orange, yellow, whatever the case may be. So in the summer, I can leave this in the garage. It is centrally located. I know where it's at. I may have to run 50 yards to get to it, but it's accessible. Let's see what we have in our own personal kit. And also, if you go on the road, if you go camping, if you're taking an extended road trip, put in your car, it'll work then. We have a CPR mask. I put it on the side using a homemade bracket. We also have nitrile gloves that are labeled, including the size. I have a note saying, pull me. In emergency, I can just pull it. The bag will come right out, open it up, all set to go. Same for the emergency blanket. I have bleeding control spray, bandage spray, wraps, something to write on, because there are times when you would need to know how long, say, a tourniquet had been applied. Worst case scenario. Antibacterial, itch cream, alcohol swabs, tick removal tools, scissors with a guard, labeled aspirin, Advil, Tylenol, Benadryl all together. If I look for this, I can find all of them all at once. A Velcro wrap, very good for securing ice packs, gauze. There are times where this is hard to use. Antiseptic. If you're out at dusk and you're 10 minutes away from an ambulance, it may be dark before they get to you. Light stick is good. Eye wash. Cold packs. Bandage. Roll bandage, that is. Blister cushions. If bleeding is such that the spray doesn't control it, there's these packets of bleed stop. Trouble is, if you have a small wound, once you open this up, it has to be used or thrown away. It can't be resealed. Waterproof bandages. Burn pads. Triangular bandage. Roll of gauze. Moleskin. Anti-stick pads. If you have a burn, or your companion has a burn, non-stick pads are recommended. What we don't want is to put on regular gauze, have the wound seep, it semi-dries, and then it hurts like heck taking it off. So these are good. And then, once everything's done, and you can regroup, trash bag. If in doubt, consult your local Boy Scout. They'll be happy to help you. Another thing to look out for is many of these have expirations. This one is October 26th. I know I have this one that expires right now. I need to replace. A checklist of some sort is also recommended. So with that in mind, that's how our episodes are going to go. We can plan for the unexpected, but sometimes accidents will happen anyway. And if so, at least we're ready for them. We can deal with them. They will hopefully not be as severe otherwise. And then we can move on, keep enjoying our day outside. Until next time, thank you for joining us.